Here we are again with another component rundown. This time we're going to be looking at What's He Building in There by Boxshot Games. It's designed by Sean Scott Garrity. It's for 2 to 6 players. Basically, it's a worker placement resource management game where each player controls a mad scientist and his minions. In the game, you're trying to complete your doomsday machine and escape plan. So you will send your mad scientist or one of your minions to the workshop or black market to gather, trade, and upgrade resources. Your scientists will spend time in the lab, genius at work. Your minions will give you manual labor, and you'll use the labor, the resources, and the genius to create inventions, some of which will be used to complete your doomsday machine and escape plan. Others will just help you perform better during the game. In the meantime, you'll want to find a place to do all this, add security, and if you have time, find an exotic pet to impress all your friends and, of course, your enemies as well. Ultimately, though, you're trying to have the most victory points at game's end. And you will get victory points from your doomsday device and your escape plan. The higher level you complete, the more victory points you can earn. Being the first to create inventions during the game, and the level that you're at in social and in your security and with your exotic pets track. In the end, you must complete at least one level of your doomsday machine and at least one level of your escape plan and have the most victory points in the process. If you fail to create one level of both your doomsday device and your escape plan, then you can't even win the game no matter how many victory points you end up earning. You have the rule book. No problems with it at all. Full color, glossy, some illustrations. Pretty easy to understand the rules of the game. This is the board. It's pretty long board, so hard to get into one shot of the camera, but I'll be giving you a close-up of each different section here to show you the details of the board. In this section of the board, first thing you see up here is the turn track. Basically 15 rounds in a game. This tracks it, and if you notice, the round 5 is red because if you haven't built real estate on the social track by turn 5, and you have to pay rent at the end of every turn. The workshops is simply where the workshop cards will go. They'll rotate each round. Same with the black market. The black market cards will change each round. And then these two are permanent actions where you can get money, and this one gives you money plus the first player marker. This section of the board basically shows two things: genius at work and manual labor. So you'll send your mad scientist here, and he'll gather genius at work points, which you can then spend to create inventions. Also, you'll need genius at work for both your doomsday device and your escape plan. And this is where you'll send your workers to basically gather manual labor for the same exact thing. You need that stuff to create inventions, and you need it to do doomsday device and escape plan. If you notice, these are these are yellow, and these are gray. Yellow means only your mad scientist can go there. Gray means only your minions can go there. And there are some in the game that are split both colors, meaning either or can go there. This section of the board gives you 3 tracks: your social track, your security track, and your exotic pets track. Basically, you're just getting victory points the higher you go on each track. The red sections you see here, this is real estate. You need to acquire that so you don't have to pay rent. You start paying rent at turn 5. And then these two for the security and exotic pets track, you can't gain those unless you've reached the real estate level there. At the top of the board there, you can just see little places to place all the different kind of cards and then along the edge of the track you can see the score track, which you'll use to track victory points. You have the direct effect inventions, basically inventions that you'll create to help yourself or hinder your opponents during the game. They won't actually help you complete your doomsday device or escape plan, though. You can see here the victory points you get at the end of the game, the name of the invention, the resources that you need in order to complete the invention, and the special ability that will give you throughout the rest of the game. There's just one of each one, and they're all unique. These are the intermediate invention cards, And these are the inventions you'll need to complete your Doomsday device and your escape plan. These are a little different in the fact that there's multiple copies of each invention because multiple players may need them, but the first player to create the invention gains the victory point shown here. If you notice, the other ones do not have that victory point. So you're the first one to create it, you get the victory points. But also it usually costs you a few more resources. For example, well, I shouldn't say more resources, but this one needed 4 Genius at Work points, whereas the copy inventions don't need that. But you also notice here that if I copy inventions that you created, I have to pay you 4 money. And there's a multiple of these. Like I said, these are what you'll be using to create your Doomsday Advice and escape plan. But the best invention of all, of course, is duct tape. Can basically be used to in place of any invention for your Doomsday Device or your escape plan. However, if you notice here, you actually lose victory points. Now the inventor gains victory points, but the other players that use this simply lose victory points because they use duct tape in place of the real invention they should have used. But it's still the most awesome invention ever. These are the black market and workshop cards. They will randomly rotate onto the game board throughout the game, and you can send your evil doctor or the minions to try to gain the resources or money. So for the workshop cards, you'll see that they pretty much do the same thing, but different resources. I believe there's 2 of each kind of resource in here. And basically when the card is available, you can place either your minion or your evil doctor. The yellow gray space is the only place that you can put either or. These 2 can only be minions. But you'll either collect resources, so a henchman there would collect 2 resources, while a doctor sent there would collect 3, or you can refine resources. Now whoever the first player places on this spot here, he gets to decide whether he's collecting or he's refining, and what he decides, the other players have to follow suit. So if he collects resources, then any player placed on here as well has to collect as well. They cannot refine. These are the black market cards. Basically, like the workshop cards, these will rotate off the board, so you'll only see 4 of them at a time, but eventually they'll cycle back through. But these give you a lot of different varieties other than just collecting or refining resources. This gives you money. This one you pay money and 2 basic resources to get 1 refined resource. If you notice, the square represents the basic resources and the circle represents the refined. But there's a lot of different things that you can do in here. Work the same way though, since this is gray, then only your minion can go there. And I believe, yes, all of these are for your minion. Your mad scientist would never go to the black market, obviously. You send your minions to do your dirty work. These are the resource cards. There's 6 different resources. Each resource has a raw version of it and a refined version of it. These are the resources you'll be using to create inventions. You'll notice on they look very similar, but if you except for the text, and here this is a square. For all raw resources are squares, all refined are circles. Then you have your player pieces, basically your evil doctor, and there's 3 minions. And then you have cubes basically to track all your position on all the different tracks. Manual labor, Genius at Work, the social track, the security track, and the exotic pets track. And like every good game should have, a turn summary card that way, and they have one for every player, which is, I think that's an awesome thing. Every game should have that. These are the Doomsday Machine and Escape Plan boards. Each player will have 1 of each board and actually go together to create the player shield for the player to hide the resources and money that you have. And as you can see, it basically shows you what you need to create the inventions and how many victory points they're worth. So creating the first level of Insano Gas will give you 14 victory points, but as you can see, as you go up, it's worth exponentially more. And should note that if you don't at least create stage 1 of each of these, then you can't win the game. You automatically lose. These are the money tokens, basically in denominations of 1s and 5s. Nice quality and everything. They're pretty generic. I don't know that they fit the theme very well. But again, they work for what you need them to work for, and there's no problems with them. And there you have it. Component rundown for What's He Building in There? Designed by Sean Scott Garrity, published by Bakshaw Games. So until next time, catch you later.